I love you.
Now we're good.
I love you so much. Can you play the music again? It'll help us.
This music we can hear in our ears is really not.
They
not
have
that
no
great.
idea what is
Yeah.
playing here.
Well, they never really do. Well, hey, we are here to promo prayer and fasting, get everybody ready for this, hyped for this, because this is something we've never done before. I mean, we've
Yeah.
prayed and fasted before,
Hopefully,
but we've
hopefully.
never done like a video like this before.
To get people ready.
Yes.
Mentally.
Get everybody ready.
Emotionally, because fasting's not just like a food thing.
Right, it's not just a
It's
thing
like
you do.
A emotional, mental, like, we got to get ready for this.
Right, absolutely. We got to get ready for what we are about to do. So here's what we're going to talk about in this video, just a few things. And the people who are listening to this, they may have already seen over the past few days, we've been sending out some little graphics and things that have some facts on there, some ways to prepare, right? Because we're trying to get prepared.
Yeah.
But I know everybody may not have seen it, right? So we're going to recap some of that right here at the beginning. So we're going to talk about scheduling, okay? Because life is crazy, so we got a schedule. We're going to talk about decisions that people need to make to structure their fast, because we
In
want to
addition to food.
in addition to food,
Yeah,
right? Because we
very
want to set
important.
it up to win, okay? We will also talk about some tools that people may want to use to help.
Get the tool kit ready.
Toolkit, right? Very good. And then we're going to talk about vibe killers, because there's always vibe killers lurking out
So
there
true.
trying to kill the vibe.
Yes, and here's
Okay.
the truth. The reason why is Pastor, his heart is 100% participation of this fast,
Absolutely.
church-wide. And we want every person that does it to get something out of this fast.
Absolutely.
And we want them to be prepared and ready. So we are just dreaming, believing for big things. So scheduling.
Yes. Why don't you kick it off? Talk about some scheduling things.
So obviously, we understand life is busy. Your life is busy. My life's busy. Our congregation members' lives
Absolutely.
are busy. So we understand that maybe you can't get through or to every single thing
Absolutely.
that is happening. I mean, we're having revival prayer, Tuesday prayer. We're having a 24-hour prayer. There's probably going to be nobody that stays there the whole 24 hours, right? All of these things.
Unless they're really spiritual,
Yeah,
they can do that.
Maybe there's some people that are fasting all 7 days, but I doubt it. But like, okay, how can we work our schedule? Because it's really easy to say, like, I just don't have time, or we're just busy, or I'll do it whenever I can.
Right.
So how can we prepare our schedules before anything else, so that we can make this fast the best that it possibly can be? So just 3 things that we already posted about, but we're recapping is this. We are asking, okay, make a choice, like right here and now.
Yep.
On Sunday, before we start this fast, are you going to go to revival prayer or Tuesday prayer? Or both.
Or
Like,
both,
you can
yeah.
do both. Like, where it's not like one or the other. But if you're like, man, I can't make the Tuesday, well, come to revival prayer. Can't go to revival prayer tonight, well, come to Tuesday prayer.
Absolutely.
Or do both. Another thing is schedule out an at-home block and a church block for the 24 hours.
Right,
So-
because we don't want to just do the easiest thing. Like, we want to stretch ourselves. You can do
Oh, yeah.
both. It's 24 hours. You can figure out how to do both in there.
For sure. And like, can we, like out of 24 hours, can we choose just 2, right? To one of them come up to the church, be with other people that we're going to hear praying. We're going to see we're not in this alone. We're not in
Right.
this by ourselves. And then by ourselves, we're making our home the sanctuary. And we don't just need the church to encounter God. Like, we can encounter him anywhere.
Absolutely.
So picking those 2 things are very important. Then finally, fasting days. So it's kind of a every other type thing. Won't go into the explanation. But are you, for your schedule and your family, are you going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? And
Right. And we're going from evening to evening, right?
Evening to evening, yeah. And pick what's best for you so that you and your family are successful in this. So those are that's the pick 3, kind of like McAllister's. Instead of pick 2, we have pick 3. Let's make sure that we do that before tonight.
Absolutely. And Jesus said, when you fast, right? In Matthew chapter
Yeah.
6, he said, when you fast. So he kind of assumes that you're going to do it. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
a
that's
maybe
good.
you might think about it at some point one day.
Super
He
good.
kind of assumes that you're going to do it. And so we're going to assume
That you're going to do it.
Yeah, everybody in our church is going to try this.
Yeah.
They're going to do it. They're going to set up this week in a way that they can win and be successful fasting.
That's
Cool?
a great observation. Huge. We're just assuming it.
We're assuming. Right. Now, here's the thing, though. Fasting has always been first food.
Yes.
Okay? There's no, in the Bible, there's like no such thing as I'm going to, just fast, working or something like that. You fast food,
Yeah.
but there's probably things you can do to add more to get more out of it, okay?
Yeah.
So fasting is not a hunger strike.
Yeah. Like
It's-
I'm just not eating.
Right,
To
until
get closer
God
to God.
gives me what I want, I'm
Yeah,
not going to
that's
eat.
good.
Right? It's not that. What it really is, it's a pulling away from other things, and you have to direct yourself to the Lord.
Yeah.
And so there's probably some things you want to do in addition to not eating food.
Yeah.
And you need to think about that, okay? Am I going to stay away from TV during the days that I fast? Am I going to also include social media in that, right? Because I just heard today that the average person touches their phone over 2,000 times a day.
Wow.
Okay, a
That
day.
is crazy.
That is crazy. I don't understand that. But you might want to
Yeah.
consider touching it a little less, during these fasting
Yeah.
times, because you want to avoid every kind of distraction or thing that will take your attention away from where you need it to be. Okay.
Not to jump ahead, but take away vibe killers, and we're not going to go over that just
Right,
yet,
yeah.
but like the phone, TVs, like they can really kill your vibe, your direction. Like you get on those things and you're already mad. You're already frustrated,
Absolutely.
right?
Right.
So I think that's huge, and I think the way I always look at it is like, how can I remove or get away from the most things so that I can fill that up with more of Him,
Absolutely.
more of His Word, Spirit, presence, whatever that looks like. And we have to make a conscious decision to do that in advance, or it's most likely not going to get done.
Right. I mean, I think you got to think about it like meal replacement, right? We're going to take what we were normally investing in eating, and we're going to invest that into the Lord, right?
Yeah.
So when you would normally have your lunch, well, maybe you don't have your lunch where you eat, but you have your spiritual lunch, and that's a time when you pray and
So
seek
good.
the Lord, right? So you're replacing those things. So we got to get rid of all of the other things
Yeah.
that kind of get in there. So talk to us about some of the toolkits, some of the things we can use to help us in this process.
So somewhere along the way, it's going to get maybe a little frustrating, discouraging. Like, do I really want to do this? Like, is this even doing anything? So here's kind of some things that we suggested that we believe will help our church to make the most out of this fast. First one is this: find accountability.
Yeah.
In a person, in a group. Like, don't do this fast alone, okay? Do it with people. Do
Right.
it with somebody.
With your spouse, with a church buddy.
Yeah,
something like that.
a group or multiple married couples, whatever that looks like, of like, hey, man, we're going to do this together. Like, whenever we're struggling, it's like, hey, like, but we're in it together. I'm not doing it
Right.
alone. I'm not just by myself. Another thing is start journaling. Okay, we believe, and man, that journaling is so powerful, because when you hear the voice of God, it's easy to forget that. Start
Right.
journaling what you're feeling. Start journaling what you're hearing, what God is speaking to you in these moments, so that even after the fast, you're able to go back to that
Right.
as almost an altar. And then set praise alarms. Our pastor does this.
Yes.
They go off during staff meetings and everything, and we all feel convicted.
Exactly.
But setting alarms to remember, hey, I need to be continually praising the Lord. I need to
Right.
be continually praying. I need to be continually doing these things and filling my mind, my heart during this time.
And these aren't long alarms. Like
Yeah.
the alarm goes off, and that's just a moment for you to stop, praise the Lord for something.
Yes.
Right? It could be short. It doesn't have to be like 10 minutes of praise.
Right, yeah. And it refreshes you. It refreshes you. So, but along the way, like we've been kind of hinting at, there's obviously vibe killers. There's obviously these things that
Yeah, well,
hit us.
before we get to that though, I do want to cover this one thing, is that I think when you're fasting, you should probably look at it as feasting.
Yeah.
Fasting is feasting. So how do we feast spiritually? You might want to listen to some sermons.
Yeah.
You know, you may not do that normally during the week or do it very often, but maybe you've got some preachers out there that you like listening to or whatever. Maybe listen to a few extra podcasts next week.
Yeah.
Listen to a few extra sermons.
Read a
maybe
book.
there's a spiritual book.
book.
Yes, a spiritual book.
Not like a fiction book.
Exactly. So, you know, maybe there are some things that you can do to get a little extra,
Yeah,
get a little more
That's
out of the
good.
week.
Fasting is feasting.
Feasting.
Go over some vibe killers that will happen for people so that we can be prepared and kind of talk through what does that look like? How can we kind of work through that?
Sure. Now, you're probably going to get hangry at some point, okay? You're going to be a little more irritable
Right.
because you're hungry. I know that happens to me, and that's okay.
Me
right?
too.
So
Right now.
you have to just expect it. You know, expect that at some point during the week, somebody's going to be a little extra and you're going to be a little more irritated than normal. And so it can set you off. And then all of a sudden, here you are trying to feast on the Lord and you're over here stewing in a corner because you're mad, you know,
Yeah.
frustrated at something. Right? So there's going to be these things that are going to try to kill the spiritual vibe. All right? So
Yes.
tiredness. You're probably going to be a little tired. You know, it's probably going to be a little more of a challenge for you to get yourself going and feel like you're in a good rhythm of the week. So if you know that in advance, you just expect it. When it comes, it's not a surprise. You know you got to power through it. Don't let it totally kill the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay?
I think like for maybe a lot of people that maybe they have never fasted before, or maybe they haven't fasted in a long time or whatever, I think the fact that you are doing something like this is going to automatically almost bring about some attacks or tension or like whatever it is, because now like you're doing something to move forward spiritually, and the enemy doesn't want you to do that. So he's going to throw in tension. He's going to throw in arguments with your spouse. He's going to throw in like things that you're like, I didn't even deal with this before I was fasting, and now I'm fasting and I'm having to deal with this. So like, I believe that those are things that can happen, or we just become even more sensitive to because we're hungry and because
absolutely.
we're, you know.
And Jesus was tempted when he was fasting.
Yes.
Right? So he was tempted when he was fasting. He was hungry. He was tired. And so that was a good time for the enemy to tempt him. So if you know that going in, you just expect those things and you power through them as they come. So we want to round this out with maybe some application. All right? So hit us with that.
Application, I think that we need to be specific. Like, it's easy to just pray or fast and just like, not easy, but just it's typical to just kind of pray and fast. Okay, I got through it. Good job. Now on to the next thing. But here's an application question for you to think through your entire week of fasting, whether you're fasting, no matter what day you're fasting, is this: what are you specifically fasting for? And write that down. Like, put it on your wall, your mirror. Let your family know this is what we're fasting for during this time. And it could be multiple things, but be specific. What does that look like for you, for your family, so that there's like, man, we're praying for this. We're believing for this. We're wanting to see this happen or turn or change or whatever it is. And write it down, be specific. And I think that that is going to aim your fast to be more specific and to possibly see, you know, greater results from that, because it's not just a shotgun, you know, spray. It's very pointed. So
Absolutely.
I think that's it.
And Jesus specifically said on this that when we fast, one of the things is, you know, we don't want to make a huge deal out of it. Oh, we're fasting. Oh, this is so hard. You know, oh, I'm so spiritual because I'm fasting. But I think that if we keep the right heart before the Lord, Jesus says our Heavenly Father will reward us.
Yes, that's good.
And so you have to have some idea of what you need that reward to look like. What is it that
good.
you really want from the Lord through this? Now, just me, now you might be different, okay? Other people might be different, but I know for me, during fast, it's not like this mountaintop experience where it's like, oh, the angels are singing and I'm just hearing all this stuff from God. That doesn't usually happen to me. For me, I get the most out of the fast afterward.
That's good. You're
Okay, so-
sowing.
Absolutely,
The
I'm
reaping
sowing.
happens
The reaping
afterwards.
happens
That's so good.
So for some of you, you might have that, mountaintop experience. The week is just so amazing in your life. That's great. That's wonderful. For some of you, you might be more like
Lucky.
me, and you know what? You set it out before you. You know what you're going to do. You power through it, and then gradually you start to see that spiritual bump.
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. I think you need to set this up to win. Right? Whatever you're going to do this week, set it up so that there's no guilt, there's no condemnation because you didn't make it or, whatever. Set it up in a way that you know you can win because you need that sense of progress, that spiritual progress in your life,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, I'm excited. Did you have anything else?
No, that's good.
Hey, I'm super pumped, excited. Tonight at 6 p.m.,
In the sanctuary,
we might be here still recording the podcast.
that's right. You might walk in and be a
And
part
be
of this.
a part of it right there.
Exactly.
But we'll see you tonight. This is going to be an incredible week.
All right, let's rekindle.